Gerald Meerschaert joins us now. He's fighting Khamzat Chimaev 19th of September in Las Vegas. Obviously recovering from COVID. We just had a little chat about it off air there. First of all, how's everything with you? How's the health?
Health is good. Never felt better. Weight's right where it needs to be, so I'm ready to go September 19th.
Good stuff.
We spoke about it briefly there, Gerald. The fact that this Demian Maia fight is hanging on in the background here, and I saw you tweeting about this already, it does seem a tad disrespectful to me for a guy as experienced as you, for a guy who has such a history of putting away prospects like you do, to be putting this guy in against you and just assuming that he's gonna go on to face Demian Maia seems a bit optimistic to me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's undefeated, young guy. He's got probably the record for, quickest turnaround or whatever. But, yeah, I am definitely the worst matchup possible for him. I can do a little bit of everything, but I've got a lot of submissions on my record. So if he happens to take me down for some reason, he can still lose the fight. I don't think he's fought anybody really in his career that's as dangerous as I am on the ground. So, yeah, I'm not sure who made that matchup or if they just really wanted to test him right away. But I like the fight because there's a ton of upside for me and not much for him.
Yeah,
it is. It does feel like that. I mean, he has so much momentum based off those first two fights. Is that what's kind of appealing to you here? You get to be the guy who takes that, this guy they're marketing as the new Khabib. Is that appealing to you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's great. It's not, I wasn't completely unknown before, but obviously he had a ton of hype behind him. And now that I'm fighting him, I'm already seeing that I'm getting, a lot more attention and interactions online just because I'm the opponent. Of course, in the future, I'd like to not just be the opponent. I want to be that guy. But in order to do that, I got to go in there and, stop the hype train and put this guy away.
Pete, you mentioned there, Gerald, that, they've obviously booked him and Demian Maia as well. Do you feel disrespected by the promotion or anything like that because they've already done that?
Yeah, and I'll keep saying it every time someone asks me. I find it disrespectful.
Yeah.
I find it disrespectful that the promotion thinks that they can just line this up and put it out there in public. And I think it's disrespectful that Chimaev is like completely okay with like, oh yeah, line this guy up. I'll beat him. I don't got to cut a lot of weight and then I'll go fight somebody else. So far in the UFC, you fought a lightweight that came up to welterweight for his debut. Didn't look that great. And then you fought a middleweight who had a rough weight cut and is really not that dangerous on the ground. It's only dangerous if you stand up and slug with him. And now you're going to fight a middleweight who's going to be bigger, stronger, and my technique's going to be way better in the grappling department. So to think that you can start setting up fights afterwards, against a guy who, by the way, I'm tied with for most submissions in the middleweight division, is, if it's not disrespectful, I don't know what is.
I really am looking forward to seeing him being the nail, right? That's something that you always hear in MMA gyms. You got to be the nail before you're going to be the hammer. We've only seen this guy being the hammer, and I'm pretty sure that you aren't going to allow that to go that way this time around.
Exactly. And here's the other thing. Regardless of the style matchup, he's never met resistance in any of his fights. He's only had 8 fights so far. And every time he just ran straight through people. So he hasn't come up against anybody that's given him real resistance, that's really fought those takedowns hard, and that, at every turn is attacking as equally as they're defending. So before, for him, it was just offense. Now he's going to have someone who's not just defending or trying to stop what he's doing, but is actively attacking him from all those positions. And I don't know that he's going to be able to deal with that mentally.
Yeah, I was going to say that to you. You're tied first for most submissions in the UFC middleweight division. So you're obviously going to go out and try and attack him. What have you seen in his game in the 2 fights that, you obviously feel pretty confident you're going to be able to get a submission on him? What have you thought of his repertoire skills so far?
I mean, he's tough. He's not bad. But he does the same exact thing every single fight. He's going to come out. He's either going to wait for you to throw something, or he's going to throw something, and he's going to drop to his knee when he shoots on a double leg, like a, textbook high school wrestling room double leg. And then he's going to look to come up and pick you up. If he can't come up and pick you up locking underneath your butt, he's going to come up to a body lock, and he's going to drag you to the fence, and he's going to drag you down, and then he's going to try and triangle your legs with his legs. And then if you turn and base out, he's going to wrist ride. and then he's just going to sit there. He's not going to attack your neck too much. He's just going to punch you for a little bit, and then when you start building up and getting lazy, then he attacks the neck, usually for a darce or something like that. So it's the same thing, rinse and repeat every time. And every time he fights somebody, they feel like they have to go and, try and build up to their base and like get up like a wrestler. Well, if a guy's already a step ahead of you in that sense, it's probably one of the worst things you can do, especially if you don't understand hand fighting. Because it's one thing he does do well is he'll do a really good wrist ride. However, I actually know how to hand fight from the bottom. So he's not going to be able to do that to me, for one. And two, if I decide to go to my back, I'm not necessarily losing. I don't know how many people he's got really attacking him from his back that are like, because not just that I got the skills to do it, right? But I'm not that worried if he's trying to hit me from my back. I've had guys, I've been in my guard in fights before. It's not really anything new. You know what I mean? I can kind of navigate the strikes and everything and set up different submissions. So he'll probably get a false sense of security if we end up there and end up getting submitted.
Do you see this as you said, it's kind of with all the momentum he has, this is a profile booster for you. I know you're well known, you're a well known quantity already, but in Europe, where this guy has really captured the imagination of people across here with the Fight Island thing and everything like that, like I feel like you get to ask for something pretty sizable after this if you go in and do what you expect to do, because this whole Demian Maia thing looming in the background. I think you are well within your rights to kind of pick your spot after this. Is that the way you're seeing if it goes the way you want it to go?
I mean, if everything goes how I want it to go, I don't disagree with that assessment. Right now, I'm not going to do the same thing he's doing and look past him. He's a tough guy. I'm just not going to do that. I am singularly focused in that on September 19th, I'm going to step in that cage in Las Vegas, and I'm going to try and hurt this guy. I don't care what happens, but he's not going to physically fight in October. He's just not. I don't care what I got to do. Everyone's want to talk this guy up about, oh, you got to fight the Chechnyan Wolf. It's, Khamzat time, whatever his name is, this and that. I don't give a crap about none of that stuff, man. I got almost 50 fights. Yeah. If I don't know how to fight by now, if I'm going to be scared by some dude who's got like a fifth of the fights that I have, what am I even doing here? And, I'm sure the other part, too, is everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to tap. Well, that's fine. I'll choke you unconscious. Or guess what? If I grab a pen, I've been doing freaking hard labor all weekend, man. I just broke a pickaxe with my bare hands. You think your arm's going to stand up to that? I don't think so. I got raw American power right here waiting for you. So as soon as we step in that cage, you want to see what's up, I'll come and show you.
Holy shit, I'm so excited about this.
I'm getting excited about this fight. You're G'ing us up here, Gerald. Big time.
That's a thing I didn't even think about that Gerald just brought up there. Like, they're just assuming he's going to be 100% fit after this. They're just kind of going, he's going to be fine. Yeah. And then you listen to Gerald, you're like, oh my God, this is a horrific mistake these people are making.
It is. It's sort of feeling like that. And Gerald, listen, you were going to go to 205 to fight Ed Herman there recently, and obviously you had the COVID, you tested positive. Do you think, your size, because you're going to be bigger than him. You are naturally, I think you walk around about 210 pounds. Do you think that's going to play an advantage, your physicality?
I think my size is definitely going to play a factor, yeah, because, again, he's been fighting guys that are kind of, the one middleweight he fought in the UFC, at least, had a rough weight cut. And, nothing against that guy, but it's not like he's chiseled out of stone either. So, it's kind of a functionality. I'm just being honest. I mean, it is. And I'm definitely more of a grappler, so, I'm used to the time under tension as far as like muscle strain and having that kind of physicality just like he is. So as far as grabbing a hold of somebody and squeezing them for long periods of time and having that static grip strength, I'm right there with him, if not above him. So I'm not really worried about any of that stuff. And on top of it, I'm just bigger. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll have a really good gas tank, because here's the thing with that Herman fight. I was down to take that fight. I was going to go up and fight him. I think he's a vet like myself, Absolutely. Great competitor. I was really excited to do that. Well, we get back. We originally had rescheduled it for the 12th. I got back. I kept testing positive. I had, like I told you guys earlier, I had symptoms for like 2 days. I had a stuffy nose. For me, I was very, very fortunate. A lot of people, it can have very dire consequences. Yeah, I just didn't have to do it. Right. So, I was training the whole time. We were planning on taking that fight September 12th. Well, I kept testing positive, even though I was, quote unquote healthy.
Yeah.
And I talked to my coach, my manager was like, look, if I keep testing positive and this isn't going away, I don't want to waste anyone's time. We're getting down to the wire. At least give them a chance for him to find someone else. Because if I go up there again, and now they're, very smartly on the UFC's part, they're doing these pre-fight COVID tests. If I get down there, because they were doing this at the time, and I'm still testing positive, I wasted my time, I wasted Ed Herman's time, and I wasted the UFC's time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, we're back at square one because some people tested positive for 2 weeks. Some people, I was like 3 or 4 weeks I was testing positive, and some people have even been testing positive for months. So I was like, I haven't felt physically any different. This isn't going away, so there's no reason for me to think it's going to go away. So I let them know once I kept getting these positive tests. I was like, hey, this is the deal. I think it's going to be better if you guys just try to find somebody else because I don't want to gum up the works for you, right? Then immediately after that, then all of a sudden my test starts to come back negative, and I made sure I got a couple. I was like, okay, well now I'm fine. So really, I found out about this fight like a couple days ago, and I was gonna, they were talking to me, and it was like I literally just started being able to train in a gym setting this week. So I'm training, last week, this week, and then I'm flying out to Vegas. Because like I said, I got almost 50 fights. I don't really care. I always stay in shape. I figured out stuff to do at the house. If you want to be a gangster, you got to do gangster stuff. If they need me to come off the couch and fight this dude and smack him around a little bit, I'm down to do it.
Is there any part of you that thinks the whole COVID situation, the fact that you were, as you say, you're getting back to full training now, do you think that factored into the matchmaking at all? They might have thought, hey, Khamzat can get Gerald, who's a recognized name here, who may not be 100% for this fight based on what's happened. Do you think that might have factored into that at all? Like they might see you as maybe weakened from your usual self?
Actually, that's a good observation. I never thought about it, but if they did, that was kind of stupid because minutes for anybody in the world, so I'm going to be just fine.
When you think of, obviously you fought so many times, so many big fights, does this one feel bigger because of who he is and the kind of the traction he's gained from those 2 quick fights?
I understand how you're parsing it, but for me, it doesn't feel like it's much of a bigger deal. Only because I mean, if we're looking at it objectively, it probably is, right? That's definitely the guy with the most hype that I fought. But for me, I'm just so pissed off that everyone thinks he's going to run through me that I'm not even really paying attention to that. I just want to hurt him.
Yeah, and I know you've spoken to, you worked with Ben Askren before, and he's tweeted and he's been pretty vocal about it on social media. He's saying along the lines of what you're saying. Have you spoken to him? Are you going to work with him? Obviously, a great wrestler. What's the conversations been like with Ben?
It's been good. I've right now Ben just got hip surgery, so I won't be able to train. Right, but I have been working with some people close to him. He had a really good American collegiate wrestler. He's gonna be doing big things on the international wrestling scene and transfer to MMA. I got to work out with Bo Nickel recently, and that was really great. So I got some really high level grappling there, and got to get the feel for a wrestler who's definitely leagues, planets, galaxies beyond whatever Kazmat.
Definitely.
So I've definitely got some good partners. I'm going to be going down to train with Tyron Woodley and some different guys down by him before this fight. Get a good week of hard training and help him get ready to smash Colby in the face. And we'll get each other good and go out there and put on a show for you guys.
Good stuff. Yeah, obviously.
I am absolutely buzzing after this conversation, man. I'm
pumped for this fight, Gerald.
I can't wait for people to hear this and go, holy shit, this is even better than we thought it was.
Well, that's it, PT. People are going to get definitely more wound up about this fight after listening to Gerald there, and definitely a gangster move on your part. And listen to me, how's the saxophone going? Have you got one there? You gonna play us a tune before you go?
If it was a little bit later, I would have busted it out for you, but it's still like
a bit early.
It's in the morning. My house is going to be going nuts if I start playing the saxophone.
Well, maybe after you win, we'll get you back on for a bit of Baker Street or something like that. Maybe.
I think you should bring the saxophone with you. A bit of post fight in the octagon. Would you ever try that? Or
you need a Reebok saxophone.
That's true.
I don't know if they would let me carry a saxophone in there or how that would work for like the athletic commission. That would be. I mean, if they let me do it, I'd do it. Yeah, there'd be some hoops to get through for sure.
Definitely. Gerald, listen, real pleasure to have you on the show. Do appreciate the time. And listen, as Petey said there, we're massively looking forward to the fight, especially after you talking so gangster of it there.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All the best. Thank you.